Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Salesforce Lightning Overview demo for CCR&Rs. We will have two sessions today. If you do provider updates, you're going to want to listen in on this session. And if you do provider searches, you're going to want to listen in on this session at 3 o'clock. We will record both of them and post them on the Office of Early Childhood website for those of you that have to log off earlier that aren't able to join. Today we have Dorothy Smetana presenting. She will walk us through the demo. Hello, Dorothy.
Hello. Okay, let me turn all this stuff on so you can see. And I think we want this one. Okay, so this, we changed to a new user interface. The database is all the same data that we previously had, but basically the look and feel is different, and hopefully better. We've had some positive feedback on this. So I've logged in as a CCR&R user, and this is the list view for the account page. So I'm going to open up an account. And here's the new account page. The main thing that's different is that all of our edit and that sort of thing is over here on the right instead of in the middle at top. We still have the hyperlinks to the related lists up here, but instead of the related list being at the bottom of the page, as it is in the classic version of Salesforce, it's now on a separate tab here. And here are all of your related lists. The other thing that's different is instead of having the activities, we have this tab called Conversation. And this is where you log a call or you can send an email. Also, tasks, instead of being on the account page, are up here as a tab. So the provider updates, we've updated the manual. Let me show you that screen. Can you see that? Can you guys see that? Somebody respond.
Yes, we can, Dorothy.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yes.
And here's the updated manual, and it has the new user interface, and we've highlighted the fields that can be updated when you do your provider updates, and a little explanation. A lot of things changed when licensing came on board to the system because they're creating all the accounts for us. So a lot of the information that we were able to edit in the past, we can no longer edit because they have control of that when they process the licensing application. So basically, here it'll tell you who is responsible for the fields and if they can be updated in the provider update. The other thing that you'll want to know about is how to log the provider updates, and there's instructions for that here. It's the attempted and completed updates are basically the same as they were in the classic version of Salesforce, but the way you enter the tasks is a little bit different. So I'm going to move back over to the other screen. Can you see Four Seasons Early Learning Center?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so in this case, let's say hypothetically I made all my updates and I changed this date for my last complete update. You can also click here on the little pencil and change the date. I'm going to change it to today. What is today? the 11th. And then I'll save it, and the save button follows you around. You don't have to scroll up and down. It's always at the bottom of the page. So that's right there. And then I'm going to say I made an update to this. So I create, oops, already I make a mistake, right? So I just hover over this, and then I click on that little down arrow and it says new task. So I create a new task here. And of course, this is a provider activity for CCR&R. And it will, the account will come up right there. So it's always, if you've just been in the account, it'll be first on the pick list here. And I'm going to make the subject provider update. And I'm going to make it today because, oh, I didn't put the right date on that other thing. Oh, sorry. And then the activity is, I'm going to say attempted update. And I'm going to make it completed. And the reason I'm making it completed is that way it won't pop up every time I log in as a task I need to complete. So I'm going to save this. And when I go to the, where did it go? Here it is. When I go to the attempted updates, it shows one is complete here. So it's just like it is in Classic. So if I made 2 more attempts, then I would get a date here. The attempted complete date would be today. And just like in Classic, if I made a complete update, it would show here, and then today's date would show here. And then after, of course, after the first of the year, all those updates will show up on this side in the January to June column. Does anyone have any questions?
If you have questions, just go ahead and type them in the question box, or you can request to be unmuted if you'd prefer that. We do have a pretty small group today, so we can make this more interactive. If you have questions, we should have enough time.
So for the most part, it just looks a little bit different, but basically it's the same as it was in the Classic version. We still have our geopopulate button here in case you need to update the lat long if it's not correct or if it's blank, which would be right here, the program geolocation. And yeah, it's not very different. It looks a little different, but functionally it's basically the same.
No questions yet.
Okay.
We do have one. It says, I am the QI navigator and also the CCR&R updates. In the Lightning version, will I still have 2 separate logins?
Yes. It's the same database, it's just a different look. Okay.
We have one more. It says,
Okay,
do we have to go into conversation, then into task to complete the task?
No, the task is here. It's a tab here at the top, and you click on that and it says create a new task. And in this case, it would be for a provider activity. And you say next and enter the subject, just like you would now. You can make today the due date. Activity type is an attempted update. And this is the one thing that is different is you have to add the account. So you have to click that account name and then call it complete. and save.
Thanks, Dorothy. We do have another one. Oh.
And then if you scroll down, see we've got 2 here now. One more and we win.
So the question is, how do we look at previous tasks completed?
If you look at, if you click on tasks here, it will show you this previous task, and then over here on the left, there's the other 2 tasks that we created. So that'll show you what you've done recently, and see this is related to the 4 seasons here. So if you want to look at this one, we can click that one. Unfortunately, I didn't make them distinctive, so they all look the same. And that's how you see the tasks for that program. That was a good question.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay, here's another one, Dorothy. When is that? Hold on. When is it that we have to go into conversation that you had mentioned?
So conversation, if you're gonna send an email, you would click here to send an email and put the contact name in here and the text of your email there if you're like emailing them to do the provider update. And then if you've telephoned them and you want to log a call, you click there and then you enter the information. And then once you do that, let's see, oh, it's not cooperating here. So then you would send it, and then when you go back, no, that's not working either. Let's see, I think I actually have to send an email, so let me do that. Yep. That's a weird error. Clearly, I have not tested this as myself.
Dorothy,
Oh, I think it's
that
this.
might be the email address that is coming from?
Possibly. That may be why, because I have tested this as myself and not as another user. It worked. So down here, you see all of the emails and the provider updates. And they're categorized by month.
We do have another question. It says, any pointers on doing mass updates?
What do you mean mass? Can you define that? Mass update?
Yeah, go ahead and elaborate on that, Kristen. In the meantime, we'll answer another question. The question is, so a call we make outside of an attempt, we log under conversation, but when we make a call for an update, we log under task. Is this correct?
If you want if you want it to count towards your attempts, yeah, you would do it under tasks. And I believe that's the way it works now, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So essentially it hasn't changed. If let's say you log a call and nobody answered, but you want to be keep track of the fact that you contacted that person. You might log a call and say no answer or whatever, and then make a reminder to call again later.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Kristen so she can expand on her mass updates question.
Okay.
You're unmuted.
Hi, ladies. Thank you. Okay, so my question about mass updates, for example, if I were to send an email to multiple programs saying, please update your information, do I still have to go into each individual account to
Yes.
log that I attempted that?
You do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that's basically all you need to do a provider update.
Thanks, Dorothy.
Does anyone have any general questions about the new interface? We still have, the chatter tab where you can post chatter updates, and you have your home page where you can see, you can see recent records. And we're gonna do some customization here on this page because obviously we don't sell anything, so we don't have any quarterly sales performance. So we're gonna customize this with more relevant information. And then if, for example, you create a task for yourself in the future, it would show up here. Or here, rather, today's tasks.
No more questions, Dorothy.
Okay. All right, so this will be on Monday. Your login and everything will be the same. It's just that when you log in, you'll see this. If something goes awry, what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave the classic interface open for a couple of weeks. But the way you change back and forth is here you can switch to classic by clicking this link, and it goes back to classic, or you can go back to the Lightning interface by clicking that link. So we're going to leave that available for a couple of weeks as people adjust to the new interface.
We do have one more question. It says, so it seems that the biggest difference we have to do when updates and attempts is clicking the account name on the right side, then entering the task information. Is that correct?
Right. So the task information, it will be the same as what you're doing now, but the way you get to the task has changed. So it's right here next to the accounts. And if you've opened the account first and made the update, then when you do click on the task, it will, well, that wasn't right. When you do new task, the most recent account will be the one that you were just in. So it's just right there. It's not like you have to go searching for it.
Thanks, Dorothy. So
right.
if you help out, if you're a CCR&R that helps out with provider searches, please go ahead and join us at 3 o'clock. And that's a different webinar, and you'll have a different login for that. This has been recorded and we'll post it in the next couple days under the ECC section on the OEC website. And we can send out the provider update guide as well in an email. Anything else from my team? All right, well, we'll probably hear and see you guys and hear from you at 3 o'clock. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.